Now today the average city only has 2% of the market share of the region. The average lifestyle center 7%, the internet 9%, regional malls 31%, and strip centers 37%. I'd like to know what your market share is. It's probably higher here than it is in other areas, and probably in general Canada is higher. The UK, their cities have close to 50% of the market share, and one of the things I'd challenge you to do is that as you continue to plan your downtown, try to determine how much market share you'd like to have in your downtown, and then find what's workable and what's supportable at that level. Department stores and large anchors are critical for competitive downtowns. This is a Crate and Barrel in Cambridge, Massachusetts. It's about 80,000 square feet, and it supports 7 little independent retailers that are home stores also. There's a synergy between the two which help each other out. This is in Dublin, Ireland, and this is a store that's about the size of a Walmart, and it's inside these buildings. They saved the historic buildings, tore out the interior, and built a modern new department store. And even though it's 200,000 square feet, its urbanism is very walkable, and it's sort of the best of both worlds. You get the pull of the anchor, they spend millions advertising, and then they help the small retailers around it. This is in Vancouver. This is a new model for a Home Depot. And all of the large format retailers have urban models to fit into cities. This is a large Bed Bath & Beyond and a Borders. Those are each 25,000 square feet, but they're only 30 feet wide. You go in 30 feet and then they mushroom out, and then you have these small shallow shops between them. This is a large LL Bean. This is the size of a Walmart in Freeport, Maine. A large superstore. These stores, when well planned, can anchor your downtown. Now, you're very fortunate, I think, in London because you have some very solid anchors. Of course, you have a nice library. You have your Labatt's auditorium, which is amongst the best I've seen anywhere in the country. In fact, I didn't even know it was an auditorium until I was told when we walked around the other side. You have your farmer's market, a department store. These are anchors that most American cities would fight over, just to have one, and you have 4 or 5 of them. Charleston, South Carolina is a good example of a city that has been sustainable, primarily because of its mayor, Joe Riley. He's been the mayor for over 30 years, and he's become the brand manager for Charleston. Every awning, every sign, every paint chip goes past the mayor's desk. And if he doesn't like it, it doesn't keep going. And whether he has the authority or not, he designs every building in the downtown, and to a very high standard. This is the mayor of Niagara Falls there. We were working in Niagara Falls. We brought him there. And this is what it looked like. And the mayor changed this around in about 5 years. And now Niagara Falls, Charleston has a trade area of 500 miles. Soccer moms get in their car from Chattanooga, Tennessee, and drive in their minivan to go shopping there. And they may go past 12 Pottery Barns to shop at the Pottery Barn in Charleston, because once they're there, it's in a unique setting, and plus there's a great antiques district, the French Quarter, and it offers brands they like in a unique location. There's lots to choose from. Now, surprisingly, Charleston is not that attractive. The buildings are nice, but it has fairly unattractive streetscape, light poles. It's a real working city. The upper levels of many of its buildings are vacant. Most of them are vacant with broken windows. But this first level is very good, and it has very, very strong retailers, and it's the vertical part that the mayor is concentrated on. It is the regional shopping destination for the region. It's where the retailers want to go to. Recently, they had Brooks Brothers, Louis Vuitton, and Saks Fifth Avenue open in Charleston. Even though they could have went to 4 other malls, they went there because that's where they would make more money. And just recently, they had an Apple computer store there. And Apple Computer chose to go on King Street because it reinforced its brand, but it would also be more profitable. Now, rents correlate with sales. And by the way, department stores don't pay rent. In general, you pay them. To get a Nordstrom's, for example, it's about a $5 to $20 million investment today. There's a lot of department stores opening. You're going to see a lot of United States department stores and retailers looking to expand in Canada. You are seen as the growth opportunity, like it or not, for our retailers. Office workers shop. We found recently that 40% of all office workers buy groceries to or from work. This is a statistic nobody had really considered before, and we estimate that every office worker supports 5 square feet of retail and 4 square feet of restaurants directly. So approximately every 2 square feet of office supports 10 square feet of retail and restaurants. Parking is essential for a competitive shopping district. Remember, women will not park very far from their destination. And we estimate that every on-street stall, if it's metered and managed, so employees don't park there, if you get about 20 to 25 turns per day, which you should be getting in your metered stalls, every one of these stalls can generate about $200,000 per year in sales per stall. So every stall, every 2 or 3 stalls could actually support a shop. Many cities, and I don't know the details here, but many cities have a problem where the on-street parking is tied up for too long of a period and the shoppers don't come here, and it hurts your shopping image. In our town in Birmingham, we recently made all of our parking garages free for 2 hours, the first 2 hours free, 24/7, 365 days a year, and then we made up the lost revenue by making our on-street meters more expensive, and we estimated it would be revenue neutral. What we found is that our revenue actually went up $1 million because people that never went into garages went into them because they were free, they found they weren't that bad, and they stayed for an extra hour or 2, and it's been very, very effective. And time is the new luxury, and many shoppers will gladly pay a lot of money for a parking meter if they can park close by. We're really in the favor of small independent retailers. You have some wonderful small independent retailers here. They work very hard. They're very friendly. I've enjoyed meeting a few of them, and they need your support. But they also have to make a living wage, and very often small independent retailers find that hard to do. Very often because they don't understand, I'm not saying that about London's retailers, but very often they don't understand basic business and retailing techniques. This is a fellow we worked with in Baltimore because he was going out of business. All these retailers were going out of business in Baltimore. They hired us to help Joe, or Andy. Andy was going out of business because he claimed the city wouldn't give him permission for any more open signs. He thought he needed one more open sign, and that would keep him from going out of business. So everything was the city planner's fault. And we took Andy across the street and pointed out to him that he had other problems with his store, and he had actually never looked at his store from across the street since he signed a lease. These were the problems we pointed out to him that he had. And by the way, he was a deli operator. And